Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video, or I guess Fear the Walking Dead video. So I wanted to talk about Fear the Walking Dead because this show is premiering this Sunday. I mean, it's not premiering. This show's been on for a very long time, but this show will be obviously having concluding its run with the final 6 episodes. It's obviously if you're a Fear the Walking Dead fan, it's going to be an emotional time, obviously, at the end, the end of the Clark family and all that. For me personally, I've been a Fear the Walking Dead fan for a very, very long time. There's been moments where I haven't been a fan. I mean, there's been moments this year where I haven't been a fan. But, I've always kept track of the show, and I can say that, I haven't done that with a lot of shows that I've watched over however many years. There's been a lot of shows where I just watch it, and that's kind of it, and I just forget about it, and there's other seasons I don't really care. I've always kept track of Fear the Walking Dead and what was going on with the story, and I've watched every single season. So, except I will say for season 5, there was the later half of season 5 where I think I watched it later or something, but I remember I stopped reviewing it because it got so ridiculous, and I still think that season 5 is the worst season of this show. Just really, really bad writing, like overall, absolutely just horrible. And then season 6 got so good where to me, it's one of the best seasons of this entire show. So it's kind of, it's insane, but that is what happened. And so, yeah, we're going to the final 6 episodes here. And I think that, the way they're likely going to end it here, I think should be overall very satisfying. It's going to conclude everything. And I'm just curious on a lot of things in terms of setup for the future and all that. There was an interview done with Entertainment Weekly, so I will actually go through that interview here and talk about, does the finale, like the very last episode, set anything up? And we got some comments here, so yeah, I do want to get into that here. So before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get more Fear the Walking Dead content like this. I will be reviewing and doing trailer breakdowns for every single episode, videos breaking down all the scenes. I mean, it's literally the final 6 episodes, so like any character can die at any point. And obviously, like episode 3 or the third episode into these last 6, we could be saying goodbye to a really big character because, again, there's only 6 episodes left. So it's going to be a really insane next little bit here. And so I do want to get into a lot of this here. So we do have this interview here with Michael Satrazemis. If I'm saying your name right, I'm probably not because I'm just really, really bad at I'm really, really bad with names. But we do actually have an interview here in which he discussed, I guess the ending and sort of, I guess, just what happens here overall. And Entertainment Weekly, again, I'll leave a link down below to the article. I'm just reading this one part here, but Entertainment Weekly did actually ask the question, does this final episode or the series finale end in a good way where it is sort of satisfying for all the characters, or is there's like this set up for like some future spin-off or for the other spin-offs kind of thing that are already out? And I guess he responded with, Scott Gimple's been really good about intertwining the shows and having one show feed the others. He's a wizard, but I feel that this has a complete end. It's not feeding or fueling anything other than ending the story. That felt really nice to honor the show in that way. The universe really has a way of continually creating and has a magnet that can pull anything back together. But I guess he feels that Fear has a really beautiful ending and a proper ending honoring the show and the cast. So I think with that, I really feel like, I guess it makes sense. It's just, the hard thing about it is when you look back to The Walking Dead, they said the same exact thing. And there's still some truth there. Like, The Walking Dead final season ended in a way where, or beforehand, they were like, well, no, it has a satisfying conclusion. This is going to end the story. It's going to feel like whatever. And it did. It technically did. When you look at the final episode, it did end everyone's stories, but obviously it did end in a way where it set up the spinoffs, right? But you can also see, specifically with Maggie and Negan, that if you look at how their stories ended in the final episode, it was just like Negan went and like walked over here sort of thing, just was like roaming around and like, he wasn't really a part of the group anymore. I think Daryl sort of said thank you to him kind of thing. It's just like he appreciated the help and all that. There's a complex past there, but he was like, thank you. And, that was kind of it. And Maggie, I guess, was a part of it. And again, for a story, it ended it like that. So I guess in a way that was a satisfying conclusion, but look at how they picked up in Dead City. Like, it was just like, the start stuff already. So like the only story there, it was, it kind of ended in a way where Daryl was like, well, I'm going to go and look for Rick kind of thing, right? Which I think makes a lot of sense that you would end it that way with Daryl riding off on a motorcycle. It kind of makes a lot of sense. It's so perfect, right? And so when I look at Fear the Walking Dead, I'm like, I think it's going to make sense that a lot of these characters have a certain type of ending that is very satisfying, but I can also see there being a conclusion that is like almost set up where some of these characters might be in the spinoffs, but still a very satisfying ending. Like I can see easily Dwight and Sherry's story being like, and first of all, oh my God, I have so many little things with Fear the Walking Dead that I'm really frustrated with. Like, why are Dwight and Sherry together? I thought they just like split up or whatever in that last episode. I'm so confused with the story. I'm so confused. Like, this happens so much with Fear the Walking Dead where they make a decision on some characters and then immediately right away, it's like it's reversed right away. And this is the stuff that I didn't like. I've complained about this in almost every season. And I even predicted this, I think, in my episode 5 or 6 review. Whenever that moment happened with Dwight and Sherry, I think it was episode 6 of season 8. But they like split up and I was like, you know what? I bet you right now they're splitting up to create drama to start this whole thing, so that they'll get back together or something at the end of season 8. And I feel like that's exactly where they're going here. It just feels like it. It really does. So I think that, you know, again, like I was saying, it could be where Dwight and Sherry and June, I think June is with them. Maybe it ends where they're like, you know what, we're going to go back home. Like sort of not to Alexandria, but maybe to the sanctuary or somewhere kind of similar. And then that's sort of where their story ends, is like they're going back there. So it's satisfying for us fans because we're like, okay, perfect. It's a perfect way to end Dwight and Sherry's story on Fear the Walking Dead by having them go back to, I guess, The Walking Dead in some sense, or at least an area like The Walking Dead, right? Just the community's there. So to me, that's a very satisfying story. That makes a lot of sense. In terms of the other characters, I could see it ending, I guess, in a way where, you know, you have like, I guess, I don't even know. How would you end Madison's story and have it satisfying? I feel like that kind of confirms Alicia's return overall, right? It has to confirm Alicia's return. Otherwise, it's not really a satisfying ending. Unless you end it in a way where, well, again, I think it's going to be way more emotional. So I do think we're probably going to have that reunion. I feel like that's probably what they're leading towards here, is Alicia and Madison are going to reunite here, probably in that very last episode. Because I don't see Alicia coming back just for, you know, I guess to fight Troy and be a part of this whole story. I feel like she's going to come back just to sort of serve as a, you know, I guess just to like end that sort of story, right? To end Fear the Walking Dead in that way. So I can see that happening, or maybe they do it where it's very similar to Rick and Michonne's sort of, you know, inclusion in the final episode, where there's almost this tease for the future kind of thing where like Madison knows where she is, and then maybe we see Alicia going to New York City, or like, I don't even know. I guess that's a little different. Honestly, I don't know how they can end Fear the Walking Dead other than, you know, if what they're saying here, you know, in terms of it having an actual satisfying conclusion, it's a perfect ending kind of thing. I think it just means that it's going to be really simply that. It's going to feel like an actual ending. This story will be over. The Fear the Walking Dead story will be over. And then maybe some characters go into the spinoffs. But honestly, I can only really see like Dwight and Sherry going to Dead City, and Alicia because of that whole thing with Jeffrey Dean Morgan on Twitter or whatever. So I can see that potentially. Madison maybe goes to Dead City. I think that'd be really incredible. Besides that, it's kind of hard to say who else. Like, I feel like this is really going to end these character stories. And when you look at The Walking Dead, like, they haven't announced a spinoff with any other characters from, you know, the characters that they sort of said goodbye to, like Aaron, Ezekiel, Eugene, etc., right? Because I feel like those character stories are just sort of done and they want to focus on introducing newer characters. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. If you look at The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, Isabel is an amazing character. And I think if they actually introduce newer characters like that, it will create a lot more excitement overall. So I don't think you necessarily have to just sort of focus on like the comic characters and all that. And that's the thing, Fear the Walking Dead, all those characters aren't even comic characters anyway. So I just think you got to introduce way more characters, and they're doing that here. And again, Isabel's a perfect example as to why I think, you know, doing that really, really works. But I will say, if there's no Fear the Walking Dead characters in any of the spinoffs going forward, that is actually kind of disappointing. And I'm not including Morgan and Dwight. To me, they're still Walking Dead characters. I would like to still see them and stuff, because Dwight is a really great character. There is so much there with Negan still. There is a lot there to be told, like so much there. Potentially some stuff with Daryl. Dwight's story can't be done yet. It just can't be. Morgan's story, I could see how Morgan's story could be done, but he's also such a big character that I'm like, you should really have him in a spinoff and try to do something different with it. I don't know, the quality of the spinoffs, if Lenny James saw them, hopefully he's like, you know what, I want to be a part of that, because he said he didn't want to play the role anymore unless it was something very, very different where he's like, oh, wait, I haven't done that with the character before kind of thing. I hope he sees the quality of the spinoffs and he's like, I want to be a part of that kind of thing. I want Morgan to be a part of that type of show, right? Because I think it would just be incredible for the characters. So anyways, Fear the Walking Dead's final 6 episodes are ending here. It looks like the ending is going to be an actual ending, though I feel like there's probably still going to be some sort of like tease of something, right? It's probably going to end in a very satisfying way, I'm sure, but there's just a part of me that's like, they're going to tease something. Like, they're going to. After the episode is over, though, like the very last episode, I do think we're going to get the Rick and Michonne trailer, like the official trailer. So I'm so hyped for that. That's going to be coming on November 26th, I believe. At least that's my prediction, because the final episode is on November 26th. And I think we could get the trailer then, which is going to be just obviously just insanely hyped. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Make sure to post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.